Already have?
All right. Good evening, everyone. We got Look Lady in here, Brian B, Miss Amy Payne. We got Whisker Seekers Outdoors, hooks and hammocks, and get hooked on D fishing.
Yeah, and I seen we had Chad Thomason in here earlier on.
You can
Uh,
scroll up, see if I missed anybody, Cody.
that was who you missed, but
Okay.
and then I seen Fields of Water and Fishing with the Chad was in here for a minute. But
Awesome.
that's a little, as you see in the title, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the Chad.
The Chad. Oh, no, D's done knocked him out.
Yep, she got tired of his mouth.
Larry, I apologize. You know, when Cody starts talking,
It gets tiring.
I get tired. Oh, look at me. I'm on the big screen.
Look at that. Look at all that sexy.
We got Uncle Lou in here as well as Big Mike. Thank y'all for coming in. Oh, 1 second. I got dogs going off. Take it over, Daddy.
What a
All
rookie.
right. Well, I guess Cody's got to take care of the dogs. He got to let the dogs out. Now we know who let the dogs out.
I was say, I know who let the dogs out now.
There's Mr.
Even
Mike.
Tally, even Tally got tired of listening to him talk. Said, "Dogs, get him."
Yeah, they're over here fighting with each other. So, well, you've got a big weekend coming up, don't you?
I do have the first of two big weekends. Yeah, got the
Well,
Winter Blues tournament coming up this weekend, the third annual.
Her Daniel, and that brings something to mind, which is you are the originator of these online tournaments.
That's right. OG. Throw some gang signs. What?
He froze himself up with the gang
What's-
signs.
Yeah.
What's up?
You got arthritis in your hands?
I do. I'm getting up there, Larry, and the hands just aren't what they used to be, brother. But yeah, I am I guess you could call me the originator of all the tournaments that you see online nowadays. Started with the couples challenge in, what was that, 2020?
2020. And coming up on, not coming up on, we are in 2023.
Yeah, at the end of this year, we'll have our fourth annual YouTube couple showdown. It'll be in September.
That's awesome.
So when you think back on it, when you first did this, did you envision them becoming what they are today and as popular as they have gotten?
Honestly, when we first came up with the idea for the first couple showdown, I was only trying to figure out how the heck I was going to get through that first one, trying to organize it and all that. But then the popularity, we had a pretty good showing for the beginning of it. But yeah, I could see that becoming a thing pretty quick. I should have. Sorry, I keep hearing my voice echoing. Dear, turn the living room down. Yeah, I should have done that. What is it? Copyright or something? I could have made millions off of all these guys and gals. Even you. You guys have ran some tournaments.
Yes.
Where's my 10%?
I don't think we made a profit on any of it, so I need my 10% on the losses.
I've said that several times. Every time Freddie asked me for a paycheck, I'm like, well, I'll give you 10% of what we didn't earn. That was all the negative money it took me to put this together and do it. So here you go. You owe me.
And it's crazy because, which we've had some amazing supporters. We've got a few channel members. We get super chats from time to time, and they're a blessing. But when you really add up what you invest, especially if you, like me and Daddy's bought multiple GoPros and stuff like that, spare batteries, then just charging cables that you're always tearing up, tripods that we seem to go through like they're going out of style, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You invest a lot more into this. Yeah, well, every once in a while you let somebody take your boat out and they get it, they total it. But we're not here to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But you invest a lot in it. But at the
You
same
do.
time, it's worth it because it's rewarding. Being able to hang out with y'all and meet new people. We would have never known the Chad if it wasn't for you two.
Dude, other than work, getting into this, when I first started watching YouTube, I didn't even know fishing on YouTube existed until early 2020, late 2019. No, it was probably 2019 because that's whenever I probably really started watching Chris Souders and Catfish Weekly. Were the two shows I watched. Right, Tackle Talk Tuesday and Catfish Weekly on Mondays, and I never would have had any idea. But now it's like I've met so many freaking people. It's amazing, and there's so many more like that man that you just put up there the $20 super chat.
Yes. Thank you, Uncle
Great
Lou.
man, great man. Thank you.
Yeah,
See, I'm bringing in the big bucks to the show. See,
What can we say?
but yeah, there's people like him that I still want to meet. I haven't had the pleasure yet, but formed a lot of good friendships out of it, right? So
That's right. You're exactly right. And then, you know what? The friendships we've made through YouTube are priceless. They're absolutely priceless. You can't put a price on them. And to be honest, overall, you don't meet really any bad people. I mean, there's the occasional,
there's
but
the occasional.
but but we all know who they are, and
Yeah, they
great.
show themselves, and then they kind of fade out, and you don't have to worry about them anymore. And then, it takes a lot for me to not like somebody. So, I try to give everybody a chance. Even Uncle Lou.
Yeah, and Uncle Lou's an amazing person. I've tried to get Uncle Lou come up here. He's not interested and all, but Uncle Lou is one of the biggest supporters of our channel. I mean, anything he ever hears we need for fishing or the channel, he doesn't even ask. He's got something in the mail to you. You try, he's just an all around amazing guy. So, but I'm not gonna say anything else nice about him. But so. It's hard to get your channel to the point where you can get those super chats though, and you've done it twice, and
I have,
and you were bound to learn something along the way because the second time you did it in record time. You made it was quite a feat. I was extremely happy for you, but I was surprised at how quick you could do it. Not saying anything bad there. It's just I know how hard it is. What would be something you'd say you learned along those two journeys?
that this community is awesome.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I would still not be there if it wasn't for everybody. It was heartbreaking. It was like, and it's not because you think you're going to get rich off this. Come on. You do make like you said, you make a little bit here and there, but don't expect anytime soon to ever make a living off of this. You're not going to quit your job, but the community part of it, it's like, you get there and you have all your watch hours, you get your subs, and you can't figure it out for months and months and months. And then you make that choice the only choice you have because you can't get a hold of anybody is to restart. And it was like instantaneous. You just see it boom and boom and boom, and people sharing you out, people going live and doing like parties to get you there. It's like, it was that was what was really awesome to just feel loved in that aspect, right? It's like, you talk about the fishing community, the family, whatever you want to call it, and you have this outcry of support to help get you back to where you belong, right? So, did I do anything different? I haven't done anything different with this channel than I was doing before. I haven't even put out as many actual videos versus lives that I did on my last video. So, I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you, beautiful people.
Well, Freddie says you owe it all to him.
I've lost more subs from Freddie than I've gained.
You said earlier you started watching Chris Souders and Catfish Weekly. And before I ever really watched YouTube, fishing on YouTube, I can remember back to some videos, and it's been years and years ago, I don't know, 10, maybe 15 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, that I'd bought some yo-yos. I liked running limb lines at the time, and they had these things, they're called yo-yos, and they're just little mechanical spring-loaded things you tie your trout lines to. And I think I looked them up one day on YouTube, and I found a video of Chris Flores out setting limb lines with WD-40.
I remember.
And that's the first YouTube video about catfishing I remember ever seeing. And I didn't get into watching it much at that time then either. But I remember back, he was the first one I ever remember seeing doing it. And it just goes to show he's been going at it for
long time.
And he had that cat hat on. I don't know why I remember that cat hat, but he had that caterpillar hat on. So,
yeah, that caterpillar hat's I guess his logo. He still wears that caterpillar hat.
So, well, you're an Ohio River fisherman, but you travel to fish a lot as well.
I do.
You've been Alabama, Tennessee, Pennsylvania. Have you been
Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Wisconsin, and Illinois in the last couple of years.
Well, which one was your favorite spot?
Yeah, the water. Maybe not the people, because I know that could sway it. But like, which waterway was your favorite?
That's tough. I mean, Mendota Channel Cats, awesome waters to go fish. If I'm looking for flathead, I'm North Carolina, South Carolina, especially that area, Lake Wiley. That has been by far the best catfish fishery that I've seen. The blue cat is going to be tough because I have not mastered or figured out Wilson and Wheeler, but I love the water. The water is great. And at the same time, what little bit I spent on Kerr last trip was awesome. That was a great fishery. So it's tough. And that's why I like traveling. People think we're kidding or something when we talk about the Ohio, and it can be very, very, very difficult to fish the Ohio, to find fish. We have a huge range of those 5 to 15 pounders. And unless your name is J-Dog, who is the greatest fisherman that has ever graced the Ohio River, you don't see these 60s and 70s, right? Very often. So they're very difficult to find. So there's not an abundance in like these other areas. And that's part of why we've decided to start traveling. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go ahead and say the Tennessee River in Alabama, just because that's our goal. And down the road is to be down there retired. So,
and I guess I've never fished there, but I can envision why you would pick that area, because it's widely known the potential.
It is. And there's so many different things down there. If you ever go actually fish Wilson down below Wheeler Dam, I haven't done a whole lot on Wheeler yet, because we always end up on Wilson. But it's got everything you can think of. It's just weird. Like the Ohio, compared to the Ohio, I don't know. It's just a different experience. You can do pretty much anything you want in the same lake on the same day.
Right. I hope to get to make a trip down there sometime this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a big bucket list location. I think if there was a new world record caught tomorrow and somebody said it come on Wilson or Wheeler, nobody would be surprised.
No,
if it come off of either one of those waterways.
I don't think so.
And the real fisherman of the household says, I like Lake Gaston, but it could be that we get to hang out with Tom and Michelle.
No.
They entertained Alicia so she had fun too.
You told us we not to think about the people involved because then it makes it that much harder because that is another big part of why we travel is to have met people, right? It's been, the Mendota trip. There's a great group of people that goes up to that. We had the Baldwin trip. That there's a great group of people there, and then you add people like Josh and Parker too. And then you go out to Wyland. There's a huge, great bunch of people. Or you go up to Virginia and do the trip where you stop at the dock. It's great people, but we had took out that emotion of loving all those people, and just you asked me about the waterway.
Right. And, well, I mean, Greenwell says it here, tournament in Alabama this past weekend, top 11 teams had over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Tournaments around here, you don't see hardly any boats coming in with over 100 pounds very often.
So, you fished some tournaments yourself, and you fared well in a couple tournaments yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We actually took last year off, hoping when I get the big boat going again, I might get in some of the local club tournaments again. But the year before last, we did quite a bit. We did a lot of local club tournaments. There's two that we really participate in, and there's another one that occasionally we would do. And then we would do the big Rising Sun tournament. I did that for a few years, and we did pretty well, but only placed the money, I think, once, but have done, like you said, well. When you have a 200 boat tournament, and I think we finished either 44th or 54th one year in that tournament. I thought that was pretty good. That was the second year I ran fished it, and that was only the second year I ever had a boat. So,
right, yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, me and Dad's going to fish our first in-person tournament with Mike Greenwell's actually going to co-angle with us.
That one you're telling me about? I knew you had big money.
Yeah, no, definitely not that one. On Old Hickory here, or not here. It's about an hour away, Gallatin, Tennessee. And, if I have no, thoughts of grandeur that I'll go to a foreign waterway and fish my first tournament and win it. But if I could finish in the top 25%, the top quarter of people, if there's 30 boats, finish 7th or 8th, somewhere in there, like I would be elated, just to be in that upper echelon.
My goal is not to finish last.
That's it. That is it.
Here is a rule about tournaments. Unless they do a skunk award, if you catch even a channel cat, weigh it in. So
weigh in everything.
Weigh in everything you can.
All right.
I mean, literally the very first time that I fished the Rising Sun tournament, that's the monstrous tournament around here. It's 200 boats. We caught 2 channel cats the first day. Weighed like 4.4 pounds. And then the second day we got disqualified because we didn't get down the river and to the check-in time. But you know what? I was on the list with 4.4 pounds, and there was a lot of boats that had 0 for both days. So you never know.
Hey, you got to be happy with what you catch.
Yeah.
I mean, could easily skunk. So, and I watched. It was this past year. You did. You filmed launch of the Rising Sun, right?
Yeah, I went down there and went live while they were getting ready to launch the very first day. So,
and Greenwell says we won $200 on Small Fish Award. Weigh them all in. Asleep at the Reel. How's it going?
Good evening.
And if anybody in chat has anything y'all want us to ask Chad, be sure just to drop it in there. I'm doing my best to read as many comments as possible, and we'll try our best to get that get it asked for you.
Yeah, other than crappie 922 crappie barbecues question, we'll ignore him.
But it does bring up a good point. Is like my wife, she hates fishing. She hates hearing talk about it. She doesn't. It's not her thing. She doesn't fuss at me for doing it because she knows I love it. But it's just getting her out. I might get her out once a year fishing. But your wife loves to fish, and she's an amazing angler.
She didn't always.
Didn't always.
Yeah. So she would go every once in a while with me and sit on the bank, and she would be like, "This is the most. I don't understand why we're here. There's nothing going on. Yada yada." But she decided to start giving it a try and going out with me, and she actually got in a tournament with me down here in Cincinnati. We launched in Cincinnati, and my boat was having issues, so I literally launched the boat, went straight across diagonally across the river, went about 100, 200 yards down, and anchored the boat. And was like, we dropped the very first rod, and then I was getting the second one ready, and she's sitting there looking so beautiful, just like, oh my God, it's so cold out here. And I looked over, and the one rod that we had suspended down just was buried. And I was like, get it. And I think it was a 23-pound blue. Right at the very beginning. And we got a few more fish, and we went to weigh in, and she tells everybody the story. She beat Mark Blavel in a tournament. We got third place, and she got big fish of the tournament. So, and after that, I can't get her off my boat. But I love it. I mean, it's actually helped us. It's created an even bigger bond between us. We enjoy it. She lets me spend all kinds of money on fishing stuff. So it was a win-win for me. And now she's, like I said, she's getting really into it. She's getting really good at it. So when she listens to the master who's teaching her everything in the world.
Who's she watching on YouTube to do that you're talking about there?
I have an emoji for you.
But what I noticed there is you didn't remember the weight of any of the other fish you caught that day.
Nope.
But that first fish you seen her catch, you knew exactly, and you were right, 23 pounds is what it was. You remember that fish probably like it just happened.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I can actually picture it in my head like I have a video of it more than I can probably 99.9% of all other fish. The only other one that I can really remember of hers is the flathead, and that's an awesome story too. But yeah, those two stick out in my mind, and that hooked her. That's why get hooked on de-fishing, right?
There you go. Well, hey, you're not going to tease us with a good flathead story and then not share it.
All right. Okay. Flathead story. There we were. Lake Wild. Okay. We went down. Patriot James had his big tournament. There was a ton of people there. We went down again, probably less than a mile from where we launched. And we drug baits up off this. And she was so mad because I actually caught my personal best flathead down there that day too. And it was a 34-pound flathead. We drug all day, went up, and then we came back down where we started and started up on this flat. And this rod kind of doubled over, and I said, "Get it!" And she starts reeling it. And she's like, "It's not like a blue cat or anything, no shakes and stuff like that, and not doing anything." Felt like she was just dragging something. I think it's a stick. I said, "All right, I'll take it. Get it. You take care of this." And I think it was another rod or something. And I started reeling, and I went.
You have to tell the story right.
Oh God, here we go. Now I'm telling a story wrong. I'm not even to the dead body part yet.
No. Why was I tired and didn't want to reel in a big stick?
Because you just took a 4-hour nap.
No, the nap was after that.
Oh.
Because I caught the
Oh, because you caught.
big blue and 2 other 20-pound blues.
Yeah, we had a heck of a day that day, and you got this ain't about you, but it's all about you. So we started that day with a 40 and a 33 pound blue, and
Wow.
a 34 pound flathead. Or no, it was a 30. I'm sorry, it was a 40 and a 37 pound blue and a 34 pound flathead, and we had to put the flathead back because we was only weighing in 2 fish that day. But we started dragging, and like I said, that rod went down, and she ended up handing it to me, and I was like, I started giving it a couple cranks, and I turned around and I said, I think you might want to keep reeling this one in. And she starts reeling, and all of a sudden she goes, oh! It probably just took off and buried it in her hands, and she started fighting it, and there was this pleasure boat that stopped right 30 yards away from us just to watch. And when she finally got it in, she was so excited. I knew it was a flathead the way it was fighting, and she had never caught one before. And it ended up being 31.5 pound flathead. So she had a 40, a 37, and a 31 pound flathead that day. So she gets it up to the boat, and we get it in, and they're all cheering, and they're sort of like, we thought you had a dead body. She's like, I did too. You just don't know how girly she gets sometimes. It's funny. She's all proper sometimes, try to be tough.
Well, Tom says he'll never forget the smile on Dee's face. It was priceless
It was great.
at the ramp that day. How's it
And
going?
it was very nice of her too to let me hold her 37 pound while she held the 40 pound at weigh-in, which we took second place in that little tournament they put together too.
And
Pretty good.
that was y'all's first trip to Wiley?
Yep. First time ever down at Wiley and fishing it.
And,
Pretty awesome.
and just have a tremendous day.
We caught, I don't know, well over a dozen fish that day. It was like 13, 14, 15. So, it was a great day.
Hey, it sounds like an amazing day.
And that was Patriot James's tournament.
She came in to yell at me, but didn't bring me no water, Mike. Yeah, that was Patriot James' American Heroes tournament.
Yeah,
She heard me now. I hear her getting up. She's a good woman right there. She'll bring me water.
I was actually wanting to go fish that this year and then end up not having it.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Miss D. We would hate to see him cry.
You would love to see me cry.
Is that your favorite tournament you've ever been involved in?
That I think that was just all the veteran stuff that really was, and we did so well. The Rising Sun is probably my favorite, just because it's kind of exhilarating to be in the middle of 200 boats taking off at the same time.
That's one way of putting it.
And it's also a little bit make your cheeks pucker a little bit too. You talking about some rough water? I've been on some rough water, and that's the second most rough water I think I've ever been in.
Well, what's first?
That would be Lake Wilson with a direct north wind.
Oh, against the current.
I can't even. The text message I just got. Anyway.
I just want to make sure that Dee does keep you on the straight and narrow and make sure you don't tell any of the stories wrong.
Oh, she'll tell me, and trust me, she'll tell me when I'm wrong, even when I'm right.
Yeah. Okay. Robin C says, what was the very first tournament you were in and how did you do?
Honestly, the very first tournament I was in was the Rising Sun tournament that I was talking about earlier. Me and my buddy Ed, I had literally had this boat. I bought it in 2019, and the tournament was the weekend after Labor Day in September. I didn't even have rod holders on my boat yet. I didn't know anything about like monster rod holders or anything like that at the time. I think I might have had a couple Bass Pro Shop rod holders on my boat. Sitting on a bass boat, we got a campsite over to campground. It's about 2-3 miles north upriver of Rising Sun. We went and hung out, and the first morning we boated down, and I pulled up to the tournament, and just it's all lined up with boats beached on the side by side, right? And I pull up at the very end, and there's this old husky dude about my size, and he's got his overalls on, and he looks over, and he's like, "Bass fishing?" Like, ouch. Yeah, this is gonna be good, man. We went out there. We struggled all day. We ended up catching. We couldn't find fish to save our life that day, and we ended up catching those 2 little channel cats on shrimp. We tried all kinds of different baits. Had no idea about dragging or suspending or anything like that at that time, right? And caught those 2 little channel cats and weighed them in. Went back to the campsite, and that's where I met Mark Blavel. He kind of started talking to me a little bit there, and gave me couple little tips and this and that. And the next morning rolls around, and he's like, we're all standing around, and we're like, man, this is friggin' foggy. So me and Ed, we went down, launched the boat, and Mark and them were coming down behind us. And again, I have a little graph, and I've never, only been using for 2 or 3 months, barely know anything about it, but it has a map, right? Literally, we pulled out of the launch, and you couldn't see past the front of the boat. You shined a light, you could see less. I thought, I'll ride the bank line down, we'll be fine. And I started doing it. Well, just so you know, on those maps, that if you don't have the north set right, it always shows that you're going north. I ended up out in the middle of that river going straight up river instead of down. And I'm like, I can't find the bank. I kept going right, kept trying to figure out where I'm at. Hearing noises, you think, where's the barges and all that kind of stuff. Finally, I pulled my phone up and pulled up Google Maps, and I'm like, dude, we are like a mile north. I was like, I'm following this, turn it back around. And I got back down by the boat ramp, and Mark and them were launching. And I'm like, dude, it's foggy. He's like, follow me. I said, okay. I followed him for about halfway through. Both of us almost ran smacked into a parked barge that's going down river. Luckily, he spotlighted. His light works really well, just so you know. We got past him about a half mile, and all of a sudden, I can't see Mark's light no more. So, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting a little nervous. It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, on this pitch black river, you can't see the edge of your boat and this type of thing. And all of a sudden, there's a log that shows. Oh, that's the first thing I see is a log going this way in front of my boat. And I let go of the gas, and I, jerked the wheel real hard, and the back of the boat comes like this and goes up on that log. And I'm sitting there on the beach on the Ohio River, like my first tournament, and I'm like freaking out, couldn't get the boat started, thought something was wrong. And I called my buddy Bill. My buddy Bill launched directly across the river. He said he got about halfway, and he started doing circles too before he figured out how to get to the Indiana side. And I'm sitting there talking to him. He's like, and as soon as he said it, I put my hand on the throttle, and I didn't have it in neutral. And I went, as soon as he started to say it, I was like, I know it's not in neutral. So I finally got it in gear and started, and we finally made it down there. We were 10 minutes late. They delayed the start of the tournament an hour, but not the check-in. We ended up like 10, 15 minutes late, and they wouldn't let us fish the second day.
But they delayed start time.
Yep.
Well, Miss D says here the All-American Heroes tournament was her favorite, even better than when she beat Mark Blavel.
Blavel. Beloved. I'm going to call him that, Beloved.
I can't read.
I'll be like, Mark, I beloved you.
Well, you tend to give people with the name Mark funky last names.
Yeah, that is true.
So the American Heroes Tournament, I guess I'm not familiar with that one.
Patriot James.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, that's
James had
Patriot
called
James.
it. Yeah, that's
Oh.
Patriot James' tournament he started, but I think that was basically it's it. So I don't think he's gonna do it anymore.
Oh, well, I know last year he didn't do it because just the economic state of everything and weather. I think played into part of that. And but I was thinking he would probably start that back up this year.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but yeah, I don't think he hasn't mentioned anything or put out anything that he's doing anymore. Last I had heard he was not going to. So we're going to be going down there. It's the first week of April, and we're going to Kerr first and then down there.
Awesome.
And we're going to do a fish-a-thon again like we did last year.
All right.
Yeah.
Bring some awareness and whatnot.
Yep.
You have a very charitable spirit. You do tournaments where you raise money for different charities, and it doesn't even have to be a specific charity because that's one of the rewards of winning is that you get to pick the charity that the money goes towards. So
Right.
the YouTube thing's not about the money at all to you because even the tournaments where you are getting quite a few super chats, that's all going to charity.
Yeah, we have specific one like the couple showdown will always be for charity. Figure if all of these awesome ladies are showing us that how charitable they are with being with their goofball husbands, then we'll continue to do that for charity. And that's kind of one of the reasons I started that way. I mean, I wasn't going to get monetized anyways, and I was like, well, we'll put on a tournament, and I was like, maybe we could raise some money for a charity or something, and it kind of blew up with that. So, and I was like, I didn't want it. I'm also one of the people that I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be about something else. So we did that. We've raised. I have to remember. I had to go back and look at some of it. I think we've raised over $7,500 over all those tournaments total.
Awesome.
At least. So.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So, well, since you are the originator, the OG of the online tournaments, who's doing it right? Which idea has really piqued your interest?
I don't know. There's quite a few. The thing that I do like is okay. The 1v1 that Mark does is different. Josh Dunnigan is putting his twist, and then he is very twisted. Yeah, they're not doing the same, right? Roger's doing the kids tournament. Kevin's doing not time tournaments, and he's targeting like the monster hunt and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of difference in a lot of them, right? And I think that's the thing that I do like about those specific ones, right? It's not a same type of tournament over and over and over.
Right.
So keeping it some kind of different twist on it, right? I mean, there's online, there's in live person tournaments, there's the online tournament cat type deal. You want to do that, and a standard tournament. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I think when you're doing it on YouTube, you kind of need a little bit of a fun element to it, right? Where it's entertaining for the people. Yeah, they love to watch the fishing, right? But having something different when you're having it instead of just same thing over and over and over every week or every month or something like that. You got to remember that this is a little bit different if you're trying to do it as a YouTuber, as a content creator, and trying to get a little growth out of it, anything like that. If you're just wanting to have fun, we all go fishing live together. It's the same thing, right? But if you're doing it as a tournament mentality, I think you have to have an entertainment factor a little bit with it as well. At least on this platform.
You know, and with we all have a similar audience, and with this audience, I think it's what they respond to as well. And I think as us as creators, and when you're up there moderating the thing, you know, directing the tournament, I think it makes it where you can sit there and stare at that screen for 5 hours and keeps it fun.
Yeah.
You know, I know me and J Dog have one coming up on April 1st that me and him's he's never done one. We're going to do one together.
Yep.
And we're having the secret sabotage tournament where you get to spin a wheel and you get to sabotage other competitors and stuff. And I love seeing all the different iterations, like you said, because you can get as creative with it as you want to get.
Yeah.
J
Dog's giving me out is J Dog's smarter than he looks.
Yeah, he don't look very smart.
I love you, J Dog. But J Dog's got lots of different ideas. He's given me time, like bumping for Bacons is his, you know, and we've talked about some similar type tournaments of what you're talking about there, and I just don't have the time to do it all, you know, every month or every 2 months. It's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work. I mean, YouTube itself's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. It's just gratifying. Again, just all the people, you know, all the people you meet, getting to interact with all the people is just awesome.
Yep, Greenwell. April 1st, we figured with it being a sabotage tournament, April Fool's Day is like the perfect day to kick it off. And we've already got enough people signed up, just about, not quite enough, but it's more than one day's worth. So we're going to do it April 1st and April 2nd. Get it out of the way on one weekend. Danny says, let's see here. I never have fun. The only reason I fish is because my wife don't want me hanging out around the house. She forces me to go. Well, I don't believe he never has fun, but I do believe she kicks him out of the house.
Well, that's the thing.
I agree.
My wife loves to fish, but she don't care about fishing from the boat. She's more of a bank angler. She likes to go down to the river and sit on the bank and fish. She will go out on the boat with me some, but when I first bought the other boat, we were out there in the summertime one day, just took her for a ride on it, and it was summertime, million boats on the water. The whole lake was just jumping up and down. It scared her, and after that, she don't really care nothing about the boat.
Yeah, Greenwell, I've got your name down, and actually what I'm going to do is I already created an email for it. Probably sometime in February, early March, late February, I'll create a video or do a stream one Thursday night talking about it, and everybody can just email me, so I've got a direct line of communication. Of course, it's not a problem. I got your cell phone number, but that's when it is, Greenwell. So, the Winter Blues is one that comes around every year, and you know it can be a tough tournament. What made you key in on doing that? Because winter fishing can be feast or famine. You can get on those condensed fish that have kind of gotten that one location that's comfortable in this really cold water, and they might be finicky to bite, but there's fish there, and you can catch some of them, or they can just be locked jawed or completely spread out. And a lot of people do tournaments this time of year because of that reason. Yet here we are, you're on year number 3.
Yeah, this was the second tournament series I did. It was literally months after the couples showdown. I was like, you know, if I'm going to get this going, I'm going to keep going. You know, I got to get in before all these other, you know, bright minds actually think of something good and show me up. You know, so you know, I'm not the most well-spoken or most organized or have figured all this stuff out and how to get sponsors or how to get donations for giveaways and stuff like that. As much as people might be shocked, I'm somewhat shy, especially when it comes to asking for things. So, you know, that's why you don't see a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. I don't do the reaching out to helping hands. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Just to get giveaways from like the big, you know, rod manufacturers or terminal tackle type giveaways. Everything that I've really given away has been, you know, through the niceness of people donating or themselves, like that are in the community that actually are trying to build businesses themselves. And then the great Uncle Lou has been so kind, a few times and all that kind of stuff. But he's making it easier for me to call him and say, "Hey, can I buy this for a tournament, or can I do this?" So he's been really helpful with that kind of stuff too, of getting me to learn how to ask for stuff.
Uncle Lou, I think we did a tournament before we were really even entrenched in this community per se. We were just starting out, and he helped us out immensely. And then even just after his last boat wreck, you say you don't, asking is kind of a difficult place for you, but you didn't even ask me if I needed anything. So evidently asking goes both ways. I just had a package in the mail show up one day, and it was from you and maybe some others, but you predominantly, and you orchestrated the whole ordeal, and it was just out of the kindness of your heart, and goes to show your generosity. And I don't think I even have to say it, that everybody in here has just, over the years of watching you, has seen what type of person you are. And
Well, thank you.
But yeah, you don't ask when giving stuff away either. You just kind of, because, well, you did. I said something about buying something one day, and you texted, "You've already got a package in the mail. Don't buy that."
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about a reel, and I was like, "Don't you go buying anything right now."
So, hey, and those reels, we've done put them to good use. We've done caught some
Yeah.
decent fish on them this year. So, thank you.
Good
Well,
deal.
you caught your PB.
Yeah. Caught
No,
my PB.
don't tell me you got your PB on one of the reels I got, or you got
Yes.
you?
Yes.
Yes,
I say,
sir.
I know you said about humble, and I'm like, I got you. Screw them other people. I'm talking about the one we got. They got.
Yeah.
That was the one that I marked that one. There's a mark somewhere on it. Next time I see you, I'll show you where it's marked. I'll bring my pen.
That's
Bring my pen.
That's the Chad reel.
So,
That's when they caught that fish on it.
yeah, and reeling it in, I'm like, it's a good fish, and all I hear in the background is Zach and Rogers talking about Beavis and Butthead. We're on Greenwell's Live, and I'm like, it's a good one. And I hear something about Beavis and Butthead burning down a house or something. And then Roger goes, "Hey, 1 second. I think he's got a real fish on." I'm like, yeah, it's a good one.
The old river princesses.
922 Crappie Barbecue said, "Cody, quit it. You're making it hard to pick on him." No. I love Chad to death, but I'll never stop picking on him.
I was gonna say, I don't think anybody has trouble picking on me, but that's all right. I've got, like I said, I've got broad shoulders. I'm good.
But I don't think Chad has a problem picking on anybody.
I was gonna say, just know that if you can pick, I can pick just as good, if not more.
It's that one hand washes the other. I think it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Because you've been known to like to aggravate a little.
I can pick that. I mean, that's kind of why we started the bait shop.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason everybody still always makes sure to tune into the bait shop, is because it's authentic. There's no agenda or anything. It's just,
No.
hey, this is what come to my mind, and I'm not going to filter it out, and I'm going to just say it.
Yeah, I mean, other than the language, we take on. That was part of the whole premise of why we started it. We're not there to do a bunch of educational this and that. We're there to have fun, and like most of it was revolved around picking on each other, or everybody in chat, or particular people in chat, that kind of stuff, right? It's kind of a hangout, but it's not. It's like what you expect to go into your favorite bait shop and sit there and bullcrap with, the people in the shop.
Yeah, and I will say, Freddie fit right in right off the go.
I fired him.
But if his head would just fit in that hat, he'd fit in a little better.
I fired him.
Yes.
Did you not see the end of the show last week? Right at the very end, you'll see. I said, "Freddie, you're fired."
So, are you taking applications?
Yeah, I have an interview tonight.
Okay, Daddy, I might put my 2 weeks in.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. Be sure to tune into the bake shop here in about 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, and I just now noticed it's crazy when we used to do this. There was none of the guests we've had recently. I had this issue; they all went by really quick. But like me and Daddy would run out of things to say and stuff, and we just weren't as comfortable on live streams. And it seemed like an hour went by so slow. Now it just seems like it flies by. I mean, it's over.
Honestly, if you can sit and hold a conversation, that's one of the biggest parts of this, man. Is just and I typically don't have too much of a problem talking. So
no issue there. Yeah, I don't have shutting up's my issue normally. We are 9 minutes till your show starts. I know you're having a busy night.
I am
with everything you got coming up. Is there anything you want to say, and I'll let you be able to get your stuff on the road?
No, I appreciate you guys having me, and I was surprised that you would want such a fishing unlegend on your show. This is, what's it? Let's get real type deal. I just trying to have some fun while I can, and it gives me a break from real life, work and all the stresses that come along with, being a boss there and coming home and the stresses here of being the boss here as well. I've got a lot of keeping in line around here to do as well. And I should have really put a lock on this door. But no, we are having fun. I mean, and that's what this really needs to be about. And don't take everything so daggone serious all the time, and just have fun with it and enjoy it.
I mean, but honestly, who would not want to have the Tom Cruise of fishing on their show?
Tom Cruise of fishing.
You just called me Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise of fishing. What the heck are we talking about?
There's got to be some kind of behind the backhand joke about this or something.
Tom Cruise of fishing. I don't get it, but it's so funny.
I love you, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, don't burn my friend.
Tom Cruise, don't let the invisible fire burn my friend.
Oh, God, I love that show. But boys, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to hop off here. Though, like you said, I got to get ready here in about 7 minutes. I got to go, use the restroom and ensure I have a full bottle of water so Mike Greenwell doesn't make fun of me tonight.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Chad.
And everybody here, we'll have the link dropped in chat, but here in about 7 minutes, Chad will be live on his channel talking about what's going on and is exciting for the next 2 weekends. So be sure to check that out. Chad's link is in the description for anybody who hasn't already checked him out. I think pretty much everybody in here has, but if you could also drop his link in the chat, we do appreciate it. Hey, thanks, brother. We really appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you later.
See you, Maverick.
Maverick.
Bye.
Well, that was an amazing show.
It was great. Chad
makes it easy because he keeps the conversation. He's so used to keep the conversation going himself. Well, Daddy, I don't have a lot to talk about. What do you have to talk about here before we wrap it up?
Well, just what you said. Chad's going to have about his tournament this weekend, which is the Winter Blues. I guess we'll be fishing that with Kelly Bullock. Maybe not. I don't know. We were going to. Now Cody said no.
I'll talk to you after this.
All right.
I didn't talk to Chad about it, but
all
right. Well, at the end of all our streams, for anybody who doesn't know, we normally say a short prayer together. Daddy, if you don't mind to pray us out, we'll go ahead and say a prayer, and we'll get over and we'll go watch Chad.
All righty. If you care, you guys don't care, bow your heads and pray with me. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for such a great night. Lord, thank you for Chad and Dee. They're both amazing people, Lord. They bless so many people's lives. Lord, each and every person in these chats, Lord, bless all of our lives each and every week, Lord. We just thank you for each and every one of them, Father. We just ask you, Father, to continue to bless us with being able to do this, Lord. We just thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this and giving us this platform. Father, I ask you to place a hedge of safety around each and every person in here and just be the guiding light beneath their feet. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right. Well, hey, we will see y'all next Wednesday. We have our Wednesday night Bible study, and that is at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then on next Thursday, we've got 2 great guests going to be on with us. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be the same time next week. See y'all then. And as we always say,
God, family, and the great outdoors. God bless.